at it better than us? Nobody!
We want to focus on the things that have made us good all year long, an intensity that they can't match. And the other thing is the ultimate disrespect is when somebody takes what's yours. And this is our game, so that makes it personal. Dominate on 3. 1, 2, 3, dominate.
I need 60 minutes. 60 minutes to me. 60 minutes. No business, no mercy. Nothing but blood bubble. You got me. We're going to ring the bell. We're going to ring that championship bell.
Ding, motherfucking dog!
Here comes the pressure. Penix fires over the middle, and it is intercepted. Mikey Sainristil going the other way.
The legend of Mike Sainristil continues to grow.
JJ takes the snap, flips the ball to Roman Wilson after he takes a knee, and Michigan, the Wolverines, have won a national championship.
First and goal. Mahomes flings it.
It's there. Hardman. Jackpot. Kansas City.
This was the Andy Reid special we talked about. He was saving all day. He's going to fake a motion to go across. And at that moment, he turns and goes back. Hardman, who they didn't have, right?
On this touchdown throw to Mecole Hardman, who started the season as a Jet.
And now, welcome everyone to the Huddle Up Podcast.
Last week we said in the locker room, nobody but the guys in that locker room knew how good this group can be. Now the whole damn country knows.
Hello, everyone. Welcome Huddle Up Podcast. We are live. It is Tuesday, September the 10th, 2024. We're glad to be back with you for another episode. We appreciate everyone making the journey with us over to Wednesday night. Last week over with the student of the game and the NFL preview over there. But we are back at least for 1 week on our normal Tuesday. We're going to be back on Wednesday next week. And then after that, I think we settle into Tuesday for the duration of the season. So appreciate you working with us with the craziness on the schedules. If you're with us live, we certainly do appreciate that. Give us a like, give us a share. Interact with us in the comments throughout the show. We certainly appreciate that. I know we have Devin in there already, so hang out with all of us. Devin right in there. But we want to remind everybody we do have our merch over on our T Public store. You can grab that stuff right now and get all geared up for the duration of the season and the off season as well, because the stuff does not just need to be worn during the football season. And you can get phone cases, hats, pillows, and much more over there on our T Public store. Hit our link tree in our social media accounts and get all of that.
I need to replace my notebook, Jim. Thank you for reminding me.
Yeah, I don't know if they still do the notebooks. I need to look into that. Jason joining us there in the comments. So again, thank you for checking in with us. But yeah, smaller crew. Matt on assignment. EJ, you can follow him doing whatever the crap he's doing on a Tuesday night.
Now, let's not slam EJ too much. Okay, listen, he's perfecting his Trump impression, and as a real artist and purveyor of the craft, that's I'm trying here. I can't.
You are doing your best. I will give you the effort on that. But Mikey B,
EJ, that's when I fail. That makes sense.
Mikey B kind of sitting in the Matt chair. You'll be in there again next week, Matt, doing some traveling. But how are we doing this week, Mike?
We're good. Got some fun stuff to talk about. Oh, man, just going to stretch it out.
There you go. Yeah, get loose. Student of the game, Kyle Nash, how we doing on a Tuesday?
Yeah, there's a lot of tortured souls participating in this podcast. I'm glad to say I'm not among them, but I will promise to be gentle during this episode.
What do you mean? Nothing happened this weekend. Nothing happened. Just particularly on Saturday. Nothing happened this weekend. All right.
I don't remember a thing.
And last but not least, Sean.
I've had the drink already, Sean. Oh my God.
How we doing, Sean?
Yeah, we're doing all right. Weekend of football in the books, and I would be doing a disservice if I didn't thank the Detroit Lions for my most memorable moment of the weekend was Chris Collinsworth at the start of overtime, telling how great Jamison Williams is, and if he were in charge, a double move would be run, and they would, and the Lions, much to my credit, much to my enjoyment, did the exact opposite. Jamison Williams wasn't even on the field, just pushed the ball down the field, made Collinsworth look like
literally
an idiot.
just.
And anytime Collinsworth looks like an idiot, it's a successful Monday.
Literally just big
have
man
a lot of successful Mondays then, Sean.
Yeah, the line. He does it so well himself. He didn't need the Detroit Lions' help, but they were willing to oblige.
Sucks.
Yeah,
By the way, breaking news, Jim. Unofficially, I believe that the role of the Juggernaut for the next Deadpool movie is getting consideration for Williams to play that role. So that should be fun.
There we go. There we go. Absolutely. All right. Well, as much as I'd like to avoid the weekend that was, let's do this anyway. And what did we learn this past weekend? Mikey B, we'll start with you. What did you learn this past weekend?
The Colorado offensive line is hot garbage.
Yeah.
And you know what? You know what?
Thing sucks.
Right.
I've thought about it. That actually might be disrespectful to hot garbage.
You know what? You might be right. You
might be worse than hot garbage.
You should be nicer to hot garbage.
Burn, if I may be so bold, here's the true deeper lesson that you've unlocked, okay? There is no planet on any distant day that one primetime Deion Sanders can recruit for the offensive line, right? We already know he's a DB and skill position recruiter of great acumen who got a lot of guys to come to his college. But gentlemen, the guy's trying to protect his damn son, who's about to have an NFL career and still could not find appropriate beef to get the damn job done. If you can't be successful,
but he's real fast. He'll just run around him.
Thank goodness for that, right?
He's so fast. He made it off the field before the game was over.
Yeah,
There you
it's
go.
just so fast. He had excuses for all the questions about his interceptions before they were asked. It was great.
And it's wild how those offensive linemen can't block for him when he, sticks up for him in the post game as well. But
I will say this, and I didn't want to lead with this because I don't know if it's true or not, but I feel like it would be the thought process that I would have. Maybe that this is karma because I heard a rumor that every time that Colorado gets a first down, they play Shadur's rap song rather than the fight song. I'm just trying to figure out if this is some kind of way of them being like, you know what? We don't even want to get a first down.
It's not the first down. It's for touchdowns. He's telling the band not to play the fight song because they're going to play Shadur's song over the PA, which again, does Deion really have the school by the junk so firmly that they won't let him go for that?
Yes.
Apparently so, right? I mean, that Taco Bell money ain't going to fix itself, I guess, right?
Because
Allegedly.
the offensive line has made a decision that I think we're all thankful for. It's the fact that they're like boycotting the end zone. They're like, yeah, we're just not going to score because nobody.
problem solved.
Nobody needs to hear that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's. I mean,
Maybe
kudos.
the university flexed. Maybe they were like, "You got to play the fight song if we score." And Deion's like, "Fine, then I'm just not going to score."
Kudos to the Nebraska band, though. I think they were playing Shadur's song every time they scored. So it definitely got its.
Well, that's a lot of airplay then.
I'll say it definitely got its play in Lincoln this past weekend. Joe checking in with us. Colorado sucks. Deion's a joke. I mean,
I think we can all get on board with that.
Hard to find the lies there.
I don't know that I would call that analysis, but sure.
But in-depth analysis here only on Huddle Up Podcast.
Checking in on the comments, Jason says FSU is overrated and will lose to Memphis. Well, I was talking about things we learned this past weekend. I
don't know if they're overrated anymore.
We already
I feel like at this
Florida
point
State.
they're getting much more
Florida
accurately
State,
rated.
decibels?
Yeah, we already knew that Florida State wasn't anyway. Student of the game, Kyle Nash. What did you learn this past weekend?
I learned that Big Jim Neese owes me an apology.
Oh,
okay.
Fuck you, Cap.
Oh yes.
There's your apology.
Here's my whole thing. I made a comment on the Student of the Game report on Earnestly Speaking that the Notre Dame Fighting Irish wouldn't have a perfect record. I know I'm a terrible human being, because inevitably
It's all your fault.
Yeah, I'm not expecting arguments in this statement, Sean. Let me be clear. But me being a terrible human happened because I said that, as Notre Dame has done in the past, there will be a game with which they struggle. And upon hearing this take, Jim scolded me. He didn't go full, well, fuck you, Cal. That didn't happen. But he told me that I was a terrible person, in essence, for doing that.
I don't think I used the words terrible person.
No. I can't remember the exact words. It was actually pretty funny in your defense. But, sir, you owe me an apology. Okay? What happened was exactly what I said happened. That's two, Mike. Write it down.
There's two apologies.
But here's the thing. And by the way, I'll also be honest, did not have NIU on the bingo card doing that. Listen, I
don't think any of us had NIU on the bingo card.
I actually have interacted with Coach Tom Hammock of Northern Illinois from when he was here at the Cure Bowl. I believe your Chanticleers beat him in that game, Mikey Byrne. But was a guy that had, I have a whole bunch of respect for it and had great conversations with me in the press. And, I have that much respect for him. But again, with all that in mind, did not have Northern Illinois.
Yeah, man, credit to that coaching staff for getting that team ready, because they
did everything that Notre Dame's coaching staff did not do.
Yeah, and in terms of a coaching staff as well, apparently the week prior, Marcus Freeman made kind of a comment, whether it was intentional or not, in the Texas A&M post game about him not knowing who they played the following week, and you should probably figure that out. You don't give a team bulletin board material, man. You don't, and Notre Dame found out the hard way.
By the way, on a related note, I did hear and learn about a rumor that the Harbaugh family is boycotting steak for the foreseeable future due to what happened involving Longhorns in Michigan. Moving on.
I mean, that is also possible. Look, I have a lot of feelings about what happened on Saturday, and I'll just put it plain and simple. It's unforgivable. You can't lose those games. You can't continue to lose those games. And for every good win that Marcus Freeman has amassed, he's also amassed a very bad loss, and that's very quickly becoming a problem. Obviously a lot of season in front of Notre Dame. I don't have a lot of confidence that that they're going to get things right. But yeah, it was that was awful. Just absolutely.
You still have 18 in the poll. Let's not act like that. I know there's a bunch of people panicking. Oh, they're done. Hey,
look, here's the deal, because I just went at somebody on Twitter because they said, well, NIU has to win the MAC and A&M and Louisville and USC has to be this and blah, blah, blah for Notre Dame. I go, look, if Notre Dame goes 11-1, they will be in the playoff.
I agree.
That is a fact. Like you said, Kyle, they are 18 right now. I get that the playoff poll and the AP poll are different things, but if you actually think that Notre Dame will go 11-1 and not make the 12-team playoff, I have some oceanfront property in Lincoln, Nebraska to sell you. It's great. I'll give you a tremendous deal on it.
I'm not even going to bring up the committee bias. Go ahead, Bern. I'm sorry.
I not to a 10-2 Notre Dame team that loses to a top 8 ranked USC program, if they continue the way that they are, I think still has a conversation to get in as an 11 or 12 seed.
At that point, you're going to need help.
Yeah, but
sure.
But there's a possibility there.
But there's also, as we talk right now on September 10th, 5 SEC teams that are in the top 6. I don't necessarily know that it's going to stay that way throughout the year because they're inevitably going to start playing each other.
Well, and how many ACC teams are about to get displaced further?
Correct. That's what I'm saying.
When is Penn State going to eventually fail? All the stuff can still happen.
Correct.
Right. They almost failed against Bowling Green. Their day's coming. Their day's coming. Penn State fans are dancing on the grave of Notre Dame. That's fine. I will dance on your grave when your team dies because it's coming. I don't know when, but it's coming.
You're still dancing on the knoll.
There's going to come the time where we finally figure out that Missouri is who we thought they were.
Right.
I mean,
So, yeah,
there's going to be teams that are going to fall apart. A 10-2 Notre Dame team that loses a shit clusterfuck of a game to Northern Illinois and loses a close game to a top 8 seeded USC team, I think there's still a conversation for them to get in. We're not talking Florida State. We're not talking dead upon arrival.
Right. Now,
the way I look at it from this standpoint, I will say this. I see he's in the comments right now with his Donald Trump impersonations. He's an idiot for thinking that this is the Marcus Freeman hot seat. He said it on the show with Kyle today. I said it in the chat. This guy's a moron if he thinks that this starts the Marcus Freeman hot seat.
Okay, now this is what I'll say about the Marcus Freeman hot seat.
Where's my tea? Hold on.
I do not
You're
think
welcome.
that I don't think at 1-1 there is a Marcus Freeman hot seat. However, that you can't, with a schedule like this, you went out and got a $1.2 million NIL quarterback. You can't go 8-4, 7-5, 6-6 with this schedule. What if this season does not, if the ship doesn't get righted, the question has to start being asked. That's what I'll say. Now, if you finish, 10-2, your only loss the rest of the way is to a USC team who's in the top 10, and it's a close game, and you fight the rest of the way, and you win games the way you're supposed to, you're fine. But you're also finishing the season with stop letting that NIU game happen. But yeah, it really could go a couple of ways here. So it's up to Marcus Freeman and his coaching staff if it becomes a talking point or not. Right now, it is not.
Yeah, and I think when you said the way you're supposed to, that's a really important way to look at it, because
Yeah.
I mean, no one's going to be talking about a hot seat necessarily for the next 2 or 3 games, but if those 2 or 3 games are struggles and they're close and they're comebacks and it's not pretty, like, you may not be at a hot seat conversation, but the rumbles are going to start like in South Bend. You're going to start to hear rumbles and whispers. Like, even though it's still early in the season, even if you're still winning those games in the end, and the hope is still there, you're going to have people that are like, this doesn't feel right. This team had too much promise. Like, this guy's ruining a program that was set up for him. Like it's going to be like talk, and you're going to start to hear it. But like Jim said, if you come out and you're like, oh, well, maybe we should actually look at our schedule this week. Maybe we should prepare a little better. Maybe we should actually run some offensive plays. Maybe we should have the right guy being snapped to. Things like that. Get the personnel right, get the plays right, get the game plan right, and it shouldn't be a problem.
Your next
four: Purdue, Miami of Ohio, Louisville, Stanford.
Thank God it's Ohio.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, those, you can make an argument. I mean, you lost to Louisville last year, and you can say you had a better team or whatever. But like, you have to win it. You have to win 3 out of 4 of those in convincing fashion. You have to.
I would argue you need to win all of those. By the way, Jim, the last time a coach was criticized like this for a stumbling block, this was also the same coach that had the whispers that Sean is talking about, and eventually was one of, if not the only coach in my as far as I can remember, that led the Irish to 10-win seasons. The same kind of thing existed for Brian Kelly, and I think Marcus Freeman can overcome it. I think this right, and I have to say this because otherwise you'll accuse me of hating the Irish again. I think Freeman is the guy that can overcome this hump and still make the playoffs. And matter of fact, I would argue that Freeman's not going to be measured by 10-win seasons. I think he'll be measured by playoff appearances, which Notre Dame is still very much in the running for.
Yeah, and look, I think and hope that Marcus Freeman is, because I really like Marcus Freeman, and I think that he understands Notre Dame. They have this kind of like Hard Knocks documentary series. The first 2 episodes are on Peacock now, that they dropped before the season started, and I think he gets being the head coach at Notre Dame probably more than anybody has since Lou Holtz. So I hope that he can turn this around and be a success, because I really like Marcus Freeman. So I don't want to be the guy. Like I'm not saying there's a potential hot seat because I want there to be. I'm saying there could be a potential hot seat because games like NIU have happened as much as games like Texas A&M, and that's my concern.
Is it? It's not a Marcus Freeman hot seat for me. Is this the Riley Leonard and let's stop bringing in 1 year left of eligibility quarterbacks to be the quarterback at Notre Dame problem?
I hope so. And I mean,
because it was Sam Hartman last year,
right?
And it's Riley Leonard this year,
right?
Maybe we need to get a guy who's got more than 1 year of eligibility left.
Yeah, like that's the world we're in. Quarterbacks, grooming quarterbacks within your program is damn near impossible anymore unless you're already a group that.
Oh, and it's a risk because even if you trust yourself to groom one, if you get him into year 2 or 3 and he's starting to show promise and he gets an offer somewhere else that you don't want to match or that you think you can just replace, then they go.
Exactly.
And so you know, because I mean having these guys for 1 year sets up the opportunity to do that.
Right.
Because every year you get to go recruit guys and say, hey, our guy's leaving. You know, like you want to play as a freshman or a sophomore, come show us what you got. And you know, those players know that, you know, because you're in a situation in South Bend where that quarterback knows he's going to be on national TV if he's on the field.
Absolutely.
At all times, you know,
every game. You're right.
But it's also a situation where you're in the spotlight at all times. And if you're not doing well, the negative feedback is way greater than just in a pool of SEC schools. You know what I mean? Like it goes away on a national showcase because every negative SEC story is replaced by a different positive one. Like Georgia's still great. You know, like and it just kind of gets lost in the shuffle. Whereas Notre Dame's going to be on every episode of SportsCenter, especially if you're failing.
Right.
So it's a lot of pressure.
Yeah, that's
it's a wild. It's kind of a weird situation to the quarterback position because in Notre Dame right now you have people going, you know, you have Steve Angeli and you have Kenny Minchie and you have these guys who are within the program, and Angeli looked good, albeit against a depleted Oregon State team in the bowl game last year, and they're going, why don't you turn it to this guy when you have a team in Ann Arbor who is playing two guys that have been in their program and they lose to Texas and everybody's going, why didn't they go out and get a quarterback in the portal?
Bingo.
So like here's the thing. You know what solves both of those problems? Win. Nobody's going to care if you know what I mean? Nobody's going to care if Riley Leonard
strategy
from Duke or if he's been a 4-year, you know, project in the Notre Dame system if they're winning. Nobody's going to care if you you know, if who the quarterback is at Michigan if they're winning. So
you've created the chicken and egg problem then though.
Right.
Right. And listen, this is universal. I'm even coming across it in my work actively with the black and gold banneret at UCF. It's not even a nationwide program. It's happening there too. I mean, I don't think it's an insult to call UCF a less traditional power, right? So
yeah, no, this is just what college football is now. All right, Sean, what did you learn this past weekend?
I learned that the Cincinnati Bengals are broken. Like a toy at Sid's house in Toy Story. It doesn't look right. The pieces are wrong, and things are a little scary. And I don't know. You're going to have a lot of people pointing at Joe Burrow. You're going to have a lot of people pointing. I don't know that it's one thing. I think it's a little bit of Jamar Chase and his situation, you know, coming out of training camp, you know, with limited reps. I can't tell you what's going on with Joe Burrow, if it's still not 100% healthy, if it's a little bit of a Carson Wentz fear factor of like not wanting to take the hit, not wanting to get hurt again, just time off, like a lag. I don't know, but something's not right there. You know, and did the Patriots come out with a lot more energy and a very surprising feel to the way they played the game? Sure. I'll give Mayo a ton of credit for getting that team ready. But, you know, when push came to shove and like, you know, you break the rust off a little bit, I don't think, you know, when you look at it on paper, when you look at those two teams, I don't, that should have just been a situation where the second half was a tale of a different game. And it's, it's not working. I think they missed Joe Mixon a lot. I think, I don't think the running game was a huge problem for him because, frankly, by the second half, they were focused elsewhere. And I can see you, Mike. I know you're holding your tongue there a little bit, but that was one of my big takeaways from the weekend. And I don't know if it was a complete surprise because, obviously with, how long it's been for Joe Burrow, I feel like there was always that risk that it would be a rusty outing, but this looked worse than rust. And they could come out in week 2 and just go, okay, never mind, we're fine. But I think that there's some serious correcting to do there. Whatever's going wrong.
Mike?
No. I'll let you guys all pile on because
there you go.
Then I'll finish with the cold hard facts of.
Well, and listen, there was a lot that Sean said that's practical there that I won't double down on, but I will add this element there too. And I said it on the Earnestly Speaking podcast, Tune to the Game Report. This was easily the worst performance I've seen by offensive skill players as a whole for the Cincinnati Bengals since Joe Burrow arrived. And this is talking even including the year before Jamar Chase did while he was hurt. Like, this was asinine. The way they just handed the ball back to the Patriots. While I was prepared to see, I told everybody that Joey Burrow is overrated now that he's hurt so much. As much as my ego wanted me to wave that flag, I couldn't. There was too many opportunities for young players, backup players that were hitting the field to open the season that normally would not have been due to various pieces of drama and issues that were taking place. Whatever you want to call it. And listen, I'm putting this on all of the fumbling of the football that had nothing to do with one Joey Burrow. I'm not even prepared to blame Joey Burrow for this one. And I hear your point about Mixon, Sean. Obviously, it's a change, but when you put the ball on the ground that much, even a first-year coach like Mayo and a team that's so desperate at the quarterback situation, they're starting a very commendable, formidable Jacoby Brissett that's still obviously not the class of the position and still winning a football game over you. When you have a guy that people are trying to sell me as top 3, that ain't it.
Yeah, obviously, the result was surprising to a lot of people. But I know that initially when I did my survivor pool pick for week 1, I had picked the Bengals to beat the Patriots. And then there was talks about, T. Higgins, whether or not he was going to play. There was the Jamar Chase stuff. There was, people were questioning Joe Burrow's wrist. And also, again, you have a team who's been told that they stink, and rightly so, in the New England Patriots for the last couple of years, that they have, and rightly so, they have a new coach now. They're trying to establish a new identity. They had nothing to lose. They had everything to gain in this game. That's a great spot to be in if you're New England. That's a dangerous spot to be in if you're Cincinnati. And I'm staying away from this game. There's actually a part of me that isn't surprised that Cincinnati lost this game. And this also isn't the first time, and I'm sure Mike will point out the fact in this that Cincinnati has had a bad week 1. And in today's NFL, when the preseason is such that a lot of starters are not playing in the preseason, you're going to get weird games like the Bengals losing to the Patriots in week 1 this week. So yeah, there's obviously turnover concerns, and there's things that I'm sure Cincinnati wants to clean up, but I'm not as alarmed about the Bengals as I think a lot of teams. I mean, I have them as a wild card team. So I would still have them as a wild card team if I look back over my picks. I'm not changing anything, but Mike, go ahead.
Well, but before Mikey goes, Jim, since this was your survivor pool and you had such good analysis in not picking the Bengals, does this mean you have the eye of the tiger?
I see what you did there. I don't know.
Wow.
Ridiculous.
Oop, wrong one. There we go. But
the first one worked. The first one worked just fine.
I'll take either of them. I am not.
Fine. I did have the sense to pick the Bills, and I wasn't one of like the 42% of people in my Survivor League to be eliminated because they picked Cincinnati.
That's not a Survivor League when you get mass murder in week.
Yeah, I was going to say it was you know. But Mikey B. Now we'll go to we're on to Cincinnati, as Bill Belichick might say.
Nice.
I think the exact approach here is that we're on to Kansas City. And I think that's the thought process here, because let's talk about the things that no one can deny. 34 minutes and 3 seconds to 25-57. An offensive game plan from Gerard Mayo that was running the football. If you watch that game,
and it was very effective.
Yeah, sure it was. You're absolutely right. It was. And you want to know why? Because they broke tackles. Right. Ramondre Stevenson was tackled in the backfield 4 times in the last drive alone for a loss of 3+ yards that ended up being gains of 6 and 7 yards to run out the rest of the clock. This isn't an offensive problem. This is a defensive problem. They've got to hold on to the football. And you can look at me like that all you want, Kyle, because here's the deal. Tanner Scott wouldn't be on the field catching a pass in the red zone if T. Higgins is healthy and Jamar Chase isn't battling the flu. Andre Josivach wouldn't have caught a screen pass on 42 and got blown up by a backup corner that no one even knows where he went to school at. The fact of the matter is this team is the same team that it always is. Someone's hurt, someone's dinged up. Someone's going to have to play through an injury for the most part of this season. And guess what? Zach Moss wasn't bad. He only had 9 carries because they were down.
That's what I was saying. Second half, they didn't need him.
Yeah. 16 rush attempts for the team on the day, 4.5 yards per carry. I'll take that every day of the week and twice on Sunday. I'll take my running back and quarterback scrambling, averaging 5 yards every time they take the ball. That's fine. The fact of the matter is the defense has to find a way to tackle. They didn't tackle.
The good news is you're playing a team without any offensive weapons.
Allegedly.
Well, and like
allegedly.
To compound, we kind of talked about this too in passing on the Student of the Game report, based on your comments. Your defensive takes aren't wrong, but same token, if you hand the ball back to a struggling defense with bad field position and give them all that time of possession only makes it worse. I really think having the proper skill players back solves enough of the problems to beat New England. What you're addressing is what's going to make it impossible for you to beat Patrick LaVon Mahomes II next week. More on that later.
Right.
Sure, but here's the fact that no one wants to have the conversation about.
About no one, but go ahead.
No, we handed them the ball in the red zone to kick a field goal right before the half.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's 10-7. If they finish the drive that they handed them the ball, it's 7-7 probably going into the half.
Okay,
fair.
So again, the issues here is that we're living with guys that are not Jamar Chase, that are not T. Higgins. We're throwing the balls, guys like Tanner Scott. And guess what? As much as I want to hear, Patrick LaVon Mahomes has no weapons. Xavier Worthy is better than Andre Josivach every day of the week and twice on Sunday.
You didn't hear that from this guy.
Travis Kelce is better than Tanner Scott and Mike Gesicki combined. Sure. The fact of the matter is this. Did they do their job? No. But the offense will figure itself out when the two guys that are the best weapons that Joe Burrow will have in his entire NFL career can play together. Something that didn't happen on Sunday. The reality of the situation is if the defense can tackle and get off of the field and stop having to sit there and have an 8-minute drive, the offense struggle, and then have to go have another 7-minute drive and be on the field for double the amount of time. The fact is the offense, when the weapons are there, is going to be fine. This team is a slow starting team. Always has been, always will be.
Well, the good news is if you don't know how to tackle against the Chiefs, they're not going to take 8 minutes to score.
Facts.
That is also true.
That'd be much shorter drives. It'd be just Xavier Worthy just run right out of a tackle and just be gone.
Also true.
So there you go.
All right, circling back on some comments here. Devin says, what I learned this weekend is he does not feel good that his team won by a field goal, knowing they got the Bills on Thursday. I mean, here's the thing, man. You played
feel very good that you won by a field goal.
Right. Like you played a good team and you won. You're playing, you're playing a divisional rival this week. I know it's a short week, but I would rather come off of a win than a loss going into that. So I think you should feel good coming off of that win.
Do you want to switch roles, Devin? Do you want to go to Kansas City after a loss to New England and tell me how it feels?
Right?
I'm sorry. You're sitting here.
That sounds way worse.
Is it a short week where your quarterback was beat up by Eric Armstead and Trayvon Walker? Just throwing that out there as a concept.
And also, here's the thing, Devin, too. Like, yeah, the Bills won, but they didn't look tremendous against a Cardinals team.
I would argue that they may have looked worse than Miami at times.
The Bills team that I ended up picking in my Survivor Bowl, I was very nervous for 2.5, almost 3 full quarters, and then they finally did pull away. But the Bills weren't impressive in that win.
Yeah, a point you guys
like they survived.
is that the Jags are getting underappreciated nationwide, and it's been the case since the preseason. Like, if it wasn't for the Jags going quiet for 6 of the final downs and not getting a single score to put the game away, they're done. The Finns, and I picked the Finns to win that game, by the way, so I don't want to hear this, go the Jags homer bullshit. Okay, like, I have that on record on the Duval Dive.
I think that's what that's something EJ said. So
it is, but this is how I got to do
very invalid when it comes to expert analysis.
Yeah, I got to do 2 things that I love to do, though, Jim. I got to talk trash on EJ again, and I got to do a bell for the Duval Dive. This is a win-win for me.
There you go. All right, circling back to another one here. Jason says he learned that maybe 3 teams in the top 10 look elite. Georgia, Texas looks real good, and even Tennessee. Everyone else is shaky. I'll tap the brakes on the Tennessee take there. You can say that if you want to. That's a bold decision. I am not gonna.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him.
Wait, hold on. He mentions Tennessee, but he doesn't talk about Ole Miss.
You're right. Let him catch up with us, Mike. It's okay.
Like I said, he can have the Tennessee game until they inevitably have like an October, like
they'll get theirs.
October flop against Middle Tennessee State or something. So
NC State's still going to win the ACC at 8-4.
As a young blooming ball knower up to the point where you made that NC State comment and have been exposed like Janet Jackson in a halftime show for your supporting of the ACC. No offense to the Irish fans, non-football teams. So sometimes you just got to let some stuff go, Chief.
Let's see here. Joe, I think this is in regards to Marcus Freeman. Honeymoon period over there is at least. Feels like no concrete plan at quarterback besides NIL splurges. Yeah, we definitely addressed that. Jason also says he learned that Aaron Rodgers is faking it and hates his team. Well, I mean, Aaron Rodgers hates everything. It's not that he just hates his team. Besides ayahuasca, he hates everything.
He likes ayahuasca, nature, and Lazard. Those are like the 3 things he likes.
Oh, we got a brawl in the Phillies Rays game right now.
Oh, how exciting. I'm missing it.
I just turned it off because they hit the home run to take the lead. And I was like, cool, my bet's going to win. Let me watch this other game.
Oh my God. Who the hell cares?
I just had to sit here and listen to an ear beating about my team from guys who don't even know what the hell my team is supposed to do the first week of the season, except for be 0-1 every season.
Jason's not sold on Ole Miss, but you're calling Tennessee elite. Good job, buddy.
Way to go.
Great job, pal.
Don't do math.
Cut the blue wire.
One of the ideas, but it wasn't a very good one.
He's rumbling and he's stumbling and he's fumbling and he's bumbling.
The blue wire.
Don't do math. Don't smoke crack.
Just
they're bad. Don't
good.
Do that.
Good job there. Good job there. All right. The thing that I learned this weekend is, at least for 1 week, the Jim Harbaugh effect is real in Los Angeles. Because, I mean, look, was it an impressive win? No. But that's a game that Brandon Staley loses. Okay?
Yeah.
And, they looked better on both sides of the ball. Here's the thing. They looked competent on both sides of the ball. I don't think we've been able to say that about a Chargers team under Brandon Staley ever. I know he's EJ's favorite coach and all, and I know he's still beat up about him not being in the NFL anymore. But you look in that locker room, and that locker room is reminiscent of what you saw in the Michigan locker room, especially in recent years. They look energized. They look like a cohesive unit. And look, I'm
wear blue and yellow.
Well, that too. Look, I'm not going to go out and be crazy like EJ in the off season and say that there's a shot that team's making the playoffs, because I don't think there is.
Yeah, you've already picked the Lions for the Super Bowl to accomplish that goal.
Like but the Chargers, I think, are going to be a better team. They're going to be competitive in more games this year than they've been, and I think it is because of who they have on their sideline.
Take it easy, Bern. I'm just making a homer shot. It's fine. By the way, how perfect is Jim coming out for Jim Harbaugh after the losses he took during the college game? It's only perfect that his attitude is, who's got it better than us? That's perfect.
I know.
J.K. Dobbins effect, I think, is what we're really should be focusing on.
Better than us. Nobody.
Sean, I know your nickname is the Evil Twin, but don't wish J.K. Dobbins on anybody. I would like to be able to
J.K. Dobbins effect.
I would like to be able to
Running
walk
hard.
out of this. I would love to walk out of the studio healthy. So let's not, incite J.K. Dobbins.
Yeah, the
please.
J.K. Dobbins effect that's why EJ's not on the program. He caught the J.K. Dobbins.
He did. He just
caught it bad.
So he no longer has an ACL?
None. Although, based on what I know of EJ, I'd question whether he ever had one.
What?
That's true. That's true. Considering he hurt himself throwing football with his son last year. Throwing football. And he got like a full body injury. It wasn't like my arm hurts. It was like a full body injury.
It's like a body cast. He's just like laying there.
Jim,
did you fall off a building? Nah, I threw a football.
I threw football with my son.
Yeah, not through a football, through football.
His son dunked on him that hard. That's what
Well,
really
yeah, but at this point in his life, his body should be callous to that. We won't go the whole way back around the room, but did anybody else real quick? Did anybody else learn anything from the weekend?
Well, I think it's one that doesn't require a lot of feedback, and it's something that wasn't a complete learn. But I think last night I was reminded / it was finalized that I've always said like pretty much every team in the NFL is one injury away from being mediocre, and I said that for years with the Patriots. I said you're an injury or two away. The 49ers are probably like 6 injuries away from being anytime. They've done it without Debo. They've done it without Ayuk. But there was always another cog in the passing machine. So to come in and just prove one more time that without our best offensive player, we're just going to throw the next guy in.
Kyle, I'm going to beat Kyle to it. They are an injury away. But the injury is Trent Williams,
the offensive line, and I said that to somebody.
That is the injury that they are.
That's the only injury that will
look back to the Browns game last year.
Oh yeah, any game he's missed, they play terrible.
Yeah.
All 3 of them were those losses. You're right. By the way, props to both Bern and Jim for being like, no, Cal.
Hold on, we got this for Kyle. We'll do Kyle's
slow it down.
We'll do Kyle's light work on this one.
No, but when it goes to skill position players and defensive players and the depth outside of Williams, I think that team is about as backloaded as any team we've seen for a while.
Well, and people like to use the word system as an insult, but in San Francisco's case, the system, and we see it with the running game, and don't get me wrong, Christian McCaffrey, obviously the best running back on that team at the very least. But you take him out of the equation and his backup goes for $140. So against a really good defense. So
I mean,
the system works.
Exactly. Having a great roster is a fucking system. What are we doing here? I don't, whatever. Whatever. I don't get it is what I'm saying. Yeah, I'll leave it at that.
I'm saying it's a credit to the coaching staff and what.
Oh yeah, no, you aren't. See, and what you said is accurate, but the people that go to the system argument, I don't understand exactly what they mean by the system.
Oh yeah,
they don't know what they mean by it.
No,
yeah, exactly.
They hear one dipshit on CBS radio at 11 p.m. on a Sunday night,
or
the system guy, and they're like, "Oh, that's a good quip to have in my arrow to have in my quiver." Like
Debo Samuel, great system guy. He's a gadget player. That's all he is. He's a gadget guy. He does this. Right. He runs over here, does that.
Well, it's a really impressive gadget, though. It's it's there's gadgets that I would want, like actual gadgets that are fun to have. But being a gadget guy could be a great thing if it's a really good gadget.
We really watched though the backup to Christian McCaffrey dominated Jets defense because Brandon Ayuk was not good on Monday night.
No,
I don't think it's fair to expect anything out of him. And with all due respect, to the situation, that's kind of a self-inflicted wound. I get that. But
if we're gonna put other people over the coals, we gotta address that one too.
No one said you're wrong to do it. I'm just saying
he wasn't that great.
Yeah, no one expected it.
Debo also was doing gadget things and running behind the line of scrimmage and catching flare out passes for 8-yard gains. The fact that the backup running back, and here's the thing, I'm going to use the term backup very loosely here. I think he's going to be a guy who's going to see the field a lot. And it's not because McCaffrey is going to be hurt. I think it's going to be because they're going to use these guys as explosive, change of pace guys that can work with each other. McCaffrey is going to be spread out.
Elijah Mitchell and some of the other guys before, and I think this guy.
I think this guy's better than Elijah Mitchell is.
I think there's a reason Elijah Mitchell's not on the squad. Is they really had a chance to get this
Isn't
guy
he hurt?
coming.
Gentlemen,
yeah, he was.
Two names that I know you may only remember one of them: Peyton Hillis, Reuben Drones.
Oh God,
guys!
I remember both of those.
I remember both.
Madden cover.
Both of them who ran prolifically to get their careers started in and around one Mike Shanahan. This is what Shanahans do. They plug and play running backs, folks. Case in point.
So Jason asks, I know this was at me, if Tony Pollard or Zeke went to the Niners, would they run for 147? Here's the thing. I think Tony Pollard, I'm not going to sit here and say, yeah, he would definitely run for 147 yards last night. But let's not kid ourselves. Behind that offensive line, in that offense, Tony Pollard's going to have a good night last night.
He's going to have a good day.
Zeke's going to have a good night last night because the lanes and the holes are there. Like this guy certainly has younger, fresher legs than Ezekiel Elliott does, but Zeke's going to have 90, 100. Like Tony Pollard's going to have a $120, $125. Sure.
Or at this point, do they put Zeke in for Kyle Juszczyk's role?
Right. I mean, like, you know what I mean? You're kind of, at least in terms of Ezekiel Elliott, like you're kind of comparing apples to oranges. You're a bigger bruiser running back at this point of his career, towards the end of his career. So yeah, he doesn't have the legs probably to run 150 yards last night. But he's going to have a decent night, comparatively speaking, behind that line and what they're doing. Sure. All right, let's
can I mention one more before we move on?
Oh yeah. Go ahead.
And this is solely because Ernest DJ Christian isn't here to defend it, and I wanted to listen to this when he listens into this show, and he's like, "What the guys talk about?" It was the fact that goddamn Deshaun Watson take from last week was hot garbage.
Yes.
Trash. He is trash.
He sucks.
Excuse me, Jim, considering I predicted this, I believe it was the 22 preseason games. May I please get a Lucifer Morningstar?
I tried to tell you, but you wouldn't listen.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Can we just reiterate, and I sent it to you guys, I think, on Facebook. I just reiterate that Baker Mayfield transforming and turning around and being better than Deshaun Watson is the most Cleveland Browns thing that has ever Cleveland Browns.
That's such a great take too, Sean.
It's
so great.
Oh my God. Like it's night and day. And to just watch, like look at their last 18 games both on new teams. And it's
May I give you a bell for that take, Sean?
Please.
Thank you. All right. Let's move on. We will look at some games in the college football world this weekend. And we will start Friday night, actually. Number 20, Arizona, they are 2-0. They are at number 13, Kansas State, also 2-0. A 7-point home favorite for the Wildcats. 58 is your over-under on this one. And it is Friday night, 8 o'clock Eastern time on Fox. Sean, we'll start with you.
I think no-brainer here. I'll go with the Wildcats.
That's a good pick.
That's a good pick.
It's a good pick.
Wildcats are definitely going to win this.
Good call. Bold.
Yeah, it's a bold play. It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Look, I love the receiver, the kid from Arizona. I think Arizona has themselves, if they play the season the right way, they have themselves a Heisman candidate in him. He's probably a candidate for first overall pick. But I don't think Arizona's done a lot to impress me in their first two games. I mean, the game one looked great, but it was against an opponent that really struggled in week two. And I don't know. I just feel like I want to go Arizona, and I want to go the flashy wide receiver that I'm in love with, and I hope I end up with a dynasty pick for. But I think I have to take Kansas State here. I do think. What was the spread on it as of now?
58.
Oh, not the over under. The spread.
Kansas State 7.
Okay, I had it at 7.5. I think even at 7, I'm still going to take Arizona with the points. I think it's going to be like Big 12-esque back and forth. Like I think it's going to be a little more back and forth. Maybe not as high scoring as some Big 12 games get, but I'll take Kansas State outright. But I'll take Arizona with the points, and I'll take the over.
All right, student of the game, Kyle Nash.
First of all, before I even get started, death taxes in the over in the Big 12, except for 2 exceptions in the form of UCF and Utah. Very, very, very clearly done. I also love the take that Sean's giving us with Arizona, with Arizona covering. I'm a fan of that. I listen. But the unfortunate thing about this game, it was best said by my friend Drake Tola, Locked On Big 12. This game essentially eliminates one or the other from playoff contention because of the nature of the conference, such that it is.
Sure.
If this isn't the SEC where they get to stay alive longer, we can only hope the ACC continues to collapse and maybe makes room for one more Big 12 team. But listen, wishful thinking with the committee as always in the ACC. But yeah, I agree. It sounds like I agree with Sean wholeheartedly here.
All right, very good. Mikey B.
Matt has Arizona in the over. Ernest has Arizona in the under. I will break the mold here. They won a dogfight on the road in Tulane on Saturday afternoon in Kansas State. I think Kansas State rolls. Give me the purple Wildcats and give me the over.
So even with a rookie quarterback, redshirt freshman, we'll call him what it is, and Avery Johnson and a whole bunch of sixth-year players that have graduated from that offensive line and aren't there now, okay. I admire your bravery. You've said stranger things and been correct before.
I watched this Arizona team score 22 points against Northern Arizona last week. They didn't impress me. I don't care how good the wide receiver is.
And yet, at the end of the day,
nice pick, Devin.
When North Carolina struggled against West Carolina, you didn't change your pick. But that's cool. I like what you're doing there too with the Goldie Hawn references there, Sean. I dig that. But
I was going for an Owen Wilson circa Royal Tannenbaums. I was going for where he's just he's on a TV show and he's just Wildcat. He's like, I'm gonna go.
Okay. Either will apply here. I get it. Mine went all the way to the 80s, so I get that you weren't there, but that's cool.
Before the next pick and before they lose interest, I've noticed in the comments that Justin, I see you. Apparently, the 8th graders from here in Pinellas County, Florida, have found their teacher's podcast.
Got him.
Although, like a doofus, he did point out we were giving him garbage. This guy that's commenting in an 8-team fantasy league took Justin Tucker in the 4th. He says the 6th round. It doesn't matter. That is a terrible take, Justin. And you heard
that was one of the ideas, but it wasn't a very good one.
There you go.
Was it the 4th pick or the 6th? It doesn't matter what pick it was.
Go work on your slideshow presentation.
I will take Arizona to cover the 7. I think Kansas State will win the game. But yeah, I will definitely take the over in this one. All right, next one. We have 12:45 Eastern time on Saturday on the SEC Network. It is a team that beat Florida State this year. Well, not the first one, won't be the last one. It is the 2-0 Boston College Eagles. They are 24 in the country for now. They are at number 6, Missouri, who is also 2-0. A 16.5 point home favorite for those Tigers. 54 is your over/under on this one. Sean, go ahead.
Okay, so we got 16.5, huh? I kind of have a very similar feeling to the last game we just did, where I like Missouri. It's very impressive what they're doing. Obviously, a point differential, 2 shutouts. I mean, I don't care who you play. That's pretty impressive statistics. But I also think this is by far the hardest competition they're going to face, and I kind of like the way Boston College is playing. I don't know if I like Boston College well enough to win this game. outright. I don't know that I like them that good, and I don't know that I hate Missouri that much, but I do like them to cover that spread fairly substantially. So since I get points, I'm taking Boston College, and even if they win, I'm still correct. And what was my over under on that at the final?
54.
54. No. Under.
All right. Student of the game, Kyle Nash.
I hope federal agents are rating this game because there are a pair of frauds competing against each other here in that parking lot.
Correct.
In my heart, I'm finding myself cheering for Mizzou so we can knock BC out of the top 25. The fact that there is absolutely asinine beyond recognition. And if they beat Missouri, whatever committee up comes in November and votes will do anything they can to use that game to keep them at number 12. That being said, you're giving me 16 points. I'm going to go with Tommy Castellanos and Boston College, something I never thought I would say on this podcast. And because it's the SEC, man, that's a good 54. Slight over because I think it's a 55-point total on a bad beat for Sean.
Probably.
Mikey B.
Ernest has Missouri and the over. Matt has Boston College and the under.
So I'm the opposite of EJ. Perfect.
Yeah, unfortunately, I have to side with Deshaun Watson fan club #1 member, Missouri and the over.
Be careful with that. That dude's got a family, man.
Look, I mean, I know that Boston College has their way.
I was just going to say, is it possible that Deshaun Watson's like quote burner account that was praising him after the game was just EJ?
Yes.
I mean, there is an outside chance that he may have borrowed the security van.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, well, EJ,
EJ.
from the security.
Yeah, look, I know Boston College, beat one of the premier programs in the country on Labor Day weekend in the Florida State Seminoles. But look, I don't know if Missouri is the 6th best team in the country, but I do know that they are good enough to win a game against Boston College. So I'm actually going to take Missouri even to cover 16.5. I know it's a lot of points, but
it's a lot of points.
A lot.
There was points in that game. The only Boston College game I watched so far this year. There was points in that game where Boston College tried to give the game to Florida State, and they're just like, no, we're not good enough, fam. We stink.
Yes.
So yeah, Missouri, even with the 16.5 and slide over. All right. Next one, we have number 9, Oregon, 2-0, as much as they've tried not to be. A 16-point road favorite at Oregon State, who is 2-0. 50 is your over-under, 3:30 Eastern time on Fox. Sean.
Yeah. You kind of hinted at it there. I am not sold on the Oregon Ducks. I think that I definitely like Oregon State to cover this spread. I think I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that they win this rivalry. I think Oregon State, neither of them's playing great football. Oregon State's playing decent defense, and I feel like Oregon doesn't feel like they want to score, and that's not a recipe for success for anybody. So I'm going to take Oregon State, go Beavers, and you say my over-unders in the 50s again?
50.
Is right at 50? Ugh.
Right at.
Yeah, I don't like this to be super high scoring. I don't think either team's great. I hate taking an under in the 40s, but I'll take it. I'll take the under on that.
All right. Student of the game, Kyle Nash.
This being a Pac-12 game proper, if the Pac-12 were still a thing, give me the over first and foremost. Second,
This guy gets it.
And as you're going to give me very wisely, Rick Sanchez, I also require another Lucifer Morningstar.
I tried to tell you, but you wouldn't listen.
I don't know why this show or the national media keeps wanting to chase the sock hawker or somebody that can do something. But no, Dylan Gabriel is not a big game quarterback, and this is the closest thing he's faced to a big game so far on the schedule, and he's already looked bad. The spread, shoot, Jim, give me the spread again. I forgot. I'm so sorry.
Oregon is a 16-point favorite. 50 is your over-under.
Okay, that's a lot of points. Give me the Beavers with the points, and yeah. So I got Oregon State and the over.
All right.
And to your point, Sean, because both teams are so bad, there's going to be a lot of sloppy points scored. That's
my big fear there. But I'm going with my gut, which is the biggest part of me. So we'll go with that.
All right, Mikey B.
Matt has Oregon in the over. Ernest has Oregon State in the over. Quack, quack, motherfucker. Ducks in the over.
You just
said there's 8th graders watching. Of course, they probably talk like that too. So.
Listen, you're still on that sock hawker, aren't you, dude? Okay.
No, I'm just not on the Oregon State hype train.
I need to remember to put a TVMA up in the top right corner.
I'm just
get that MA out there.
I watched the entire San Diego State Oregon State game.
I'm sorry.
There's nothing that they do on offense that thinks that I think that they can score.
Cool. You have faith in that Duck defense, Wolfpack.
Correct. Quack quack.
All right, Wolfpack, you do you.
You got to get the old parental advisory sticker from the CDs.
Warning. You while listening to this, you understand that there will be harsh yet sometimes bold language.
Mature subjects. Parental discretion is advised. Shouts to
Lauren
of the Earnestly Speaking podcast, Lauren Christian. Anyway,
here we go. Look, I still have them going, I don't know, somewhere in my playoffs. So I have to, not that this is a conference game, so they could still Oregon. Okay, I'm picking Oregon to win. I'll take Oregon State to cover. Because 16 feels like a lot where this team's at right now.
You curse the devil, do you?
Look, man.
I tried to tell you, but you wouldn't listen.
No, I'm not. I'm not fully abandoning things here. I'm just saying that they haven't looked good. Okay, that's all I'm saying. A lot of season in front of us.
Yeah.
Things can get corrected. But yeah, for now, I will go Oregon State to cover and definitely take the over because it is the framework of what used to be the Pac-12. And then lastly, we have number 1 Georgia. They are 2-0, 24-point favorite at 1-1 Kentucky. 45 is your over/under in this one. Saturday, 7:30 Eastern time on ABC. Gentlemen, we're gonna have an early night on Saturday. An early bedtime. Sean, what do you think?
This one. Thanks for putting the last one on a tee. I thought the first 3 were fairly decent ones to pick. I really had fun just sweating those out myself, let alone discussing with you guys. But this one, put this one on a tee because this one is Georgia to cover. I don't care what the points are there. I know Kentucky's always like a fun pick. I always want to pull for them in the SEC, and they've shown up for some big games. This is not going to be one of them. Georgia's going to roll. Georgia's going to roll hard. I'm going to take the over, and I'm going to suggest that Georgia may cover that over by themselves.
Damn.
Dang.
Like it may be 45-3. Like
student of the game, Kyle Nash.
To your point with Kentucky, I've covered them here at the Citrus Bowl at least once. So yeah, they're able to make noise in some years. And like you said, very astutely, my good friend, this is not one of those games that they're going to do particularly well. I have the under because I believe Kentucky will score that few points. But please don't think I'm a hater of Kirby Smart. For those who can't see on the podcast, Jim just flashed the TVMA.
We do have TVMA.
Now, Mike can drop as many F-bombs as he wants.
And it's in the right corner.
Yeah. It's in its corner.
That is true.
But no, I'm going to take the anomaly here. I'm going to go the under with the SEC game, but I'm going to take Georgia to cover the huge amount of points. For that 45, I think I said it very well again. I think you could get a bad beat, Sean, in the form of like a 41 or a 44-0 game.
Right, I mean, 45 is your over/under game. Georgia is at 24 points. That's half the point. That's over.
Well, that's just it. I was like, I'm taking Georgia to cover by 24. I'm like, if I'm taking Georgia to cover, if Kentucky scores anything, I've got to take the over.
I'm saying they won't. That's where I'm at, buddy.
Okay.
There you go, Mikey B.
Thanks, Devin.
Ernest somehow took Kentucky in the over.
What?
Matt takes Georgia in the over. Yours truly, I don't care if they're 1-0, 2-0, 3-0, 4-0, spaghetti-o.
Nice.
Georgia by 1 million. Georgia in the over. They might hit the over by the half.
Wow. Just taking it another step.
In EJ Christian's defense, if you're silly enough to think that Kentucky's going to cover in this game, the over will be achieved. That is
sure,
correct,
yeah,
because
you're
it means
going to
they- that
have.
means they
It's not
scored.
going to be a blowout for Kentucky. It's going to be a back.
Right.
Yeah,
It means they scored.
right. It's just got to be in like the 20s. Like
Correct.
you're fine.
Look, I will take Kentucky to cover in the first quarter, and then Georgia just Georgia's, and it's going to get ugly after that. There may
Think
be other
New York
weeks where,
Giants against anyone else.
like there's some weeks where like Georgia might get a little bit of like upset scare. This is not going to be one of those weeks.
Nope.
So thanks for playing, Kentucky. Here's your parting gift.
It's a loss.
It's about to get ugly. So that's where we leave the world of
Did
college
you take the over or the under?
I'll go over because I think it's one of those ones Georgia has the potential to score close to, if not over themselves. So I will take the over.
I don't know if I like that so many people agree with me, but I'll take it.
Well, I don't do it often.
What is all this support? I don't feel right.
Right.
Nash trying to put the hex on me.
Don't you put that evil on me, Ricky
Don't
Bobby.
you put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby.
What is happening? What is happening? All right, let's continue on to the world of the National Football League as we head towards week number 2 in the NFL. As we look at 4 games, starting with Devon's Dolphins on Thursday night on Prime Video, 8:15 Eastern Time. It is the 1-0 Bills at the 1-0 Dolphins, who are a 2.5-point home favorite. 50 is your over/under. Mikey B, we'll start with you.
Oh boy,
No,
this Bills team at points looked decent on Sunday. It was primarily after the second half adjustments were made. The Tyreek Hill stuff has just been a giant distraction over the last couple days. Short week. Give me the Bills to win an ugly one. I'll take them plus the 2.5. Give me an under, though.
All right. Did the other guys send
Yes.
you?
Ernest took the Dolphins and the under. Matt took the Dolphins and the over.
All right. Student of the game, Kyle Nash.
Yeah, the under here is a very interesting and compelling thing for me. I see that I could be regretting that if the Finns defense doesn't have another amazing performance from Calais Campbell doing his thing. You know, you talk about the Tyreek Hill thing being a distraction.
Man, is there any reason to not love Calais Campbell?
He's so great, though.
God, he's so good at what he does.
He's great at what he does, and he's such a nice guy. Like,
he is.
Meeting him, my fear reflex went off because he's like 6'10" or something stupid. Like he's
It's
way
like a building. It's like saying hi to a building.
Yeah, and he's not a beanpole by any stretch, obviously, and just such a nice guy. Cool voice too, by the way. Anyways,
Cool.
yeah, he opened his dang 17th year in the NFL with the sack of Trevor Lawrence. Crazy stuff all the way around, and was a big factor in that game. Will he be a big factor against Josh Allen trying to run the football? He'll need to be if the Dolphins win. I don't think they do, though. I think there was a bit of battle that took place with the Jags defensive front, you know, facing Eric Armstead, Josh Hines Allen, and Trayvon Walker at the same time is rough. I think Miami covers whatever the points are, but I think the Bills win the football game. And give me the under, like I said.
Well, the Dolphins are the favorite, so
They're
if the Bills
minus
win,
2.5.
So,
the Bills win, they're gonna.
Bills winning, so they'll cover no matter. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Go Bills.
All right, Sean.
Yeah, Devin, I know you were concerned about that, come from behind victory, but I thought it was kind of one of those tales of the tape where your wheels are spinning, you're not really getting things going, and then it clicks a little bit, you get the car started.
ETN fumbles the ball into the end zone and allows a
It helps. It helps.
You know.
You got some help in the game, but you found a way to come out and win it. I thought by the end of the 2 games, despite the fact that Josh Allen still looks like not a human being and playing on level, I felt like the other cogs in that offensive machine would worry me if I was Buffalo. And your only real fear if you're Miami, I think, is you got some dinged up running backs at the top of your depth chart. But I hear this third guy's pretty good too if you need him. So I think Miami to kind of like alleviate that running back, they're going to throw. And I think the Tyreek Hill thing, I think he's possessed. I'm going to take the over. I think both teams are going to have to score. Whoever's going to win this is going to put up 25, 30 points. And I think there's going to be more passing than most Thursday games you're used to seeing. I'm going to take the Miami Dolphins, though, to win outright, cover, whatever the heck they got to do. I think they're going to win by about a touchdown.
By the way, anybody else seeing Tyreek Hill again making a campaign for NFL MVP?
I think he's going to be in the discussion. I
Certainly
don't
possible.
think it's going to be as close as but I think it's a possibility.
Mhm.
It's hard because Tua is going to make an argument. You're going to end up with the two of them. Like
They do cancel each other out because
everybody loves a quarterback.
them.
Everybody
I see
loves a
what you did there.
quarterback.
Yeah. I mean, when it comes to selling his jerseys, perhaps Miami will hawk Tua. What? What?
Ridiculous.
What did I say that was false?
Devin going, of course, with the Homer pick.
Homer
In this one with Miami and the
This
over.
time
Although
Homer's
I think it's the right call. Look, I know some people want to say that the stuff with Tyreek Hill could be a distraction. If there was going to be a distraction, and maybe it played into that close game on Sunday, because obviously Sunday was a chaotic day for multiple.
Imagine being a Dolphins fan going to tailgate your team's game and you see half of the team in handcuffs. Like you're just out there, you're like, oh God, this is going to go really bad.
If anything, I think this week, especially with the statement that the team put out, I think you're seeing a locker room that's probably gonna rally around themselves. So I all of the question marks I've had about the Bills, I think they're still going to be lingering, and I don't see them being able to come from behind and make up their misfortunes like they did against Arizona against a team like the Dolphins. So I'm going to take Miami to win, to cover that 2.5, and I will also I'm actually going to go. God, 50 has a good number. Slight under on that. Slight. It's going to be close. I wouldn't bet it.
That Bills pick is going to kill me this week, isn't it?
It might. All right, next one. We do have what has been a budding rivalry in the AFC playoffs over the last couple of years. We have the 0-1 Cincinnati Bengals traveling to Kansas City to take on the 1-0 defending champion Chiefs. The Kansas City, a 6-point home favorite, 48.5 is your over-under on this one. Sunday, 4:25 Eastern time on CBS. Mike, we'll start with you.
Ernest takes the Bengals in the over. Matt takes the Chiefs in the over. For some reason, I have to agree with Ernest TJ Christian for the second time today. Bengals plus the points and the over. Yeah.
All right. Kyle.
Patrick LaVon Mahomes the second in the over.
All right. Sean.
Yeah, give me Andy Reid in the over.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm not worried about the Bengals long term for this season, but I think Kansas City will do the job on Sunday. I'll take them to cover and to win.
I do think the Bengals wake up a little in this, though.
I think they're gonna come alive a little bit. I think it's going into a stadium they've had success in as the bad guy. I think it's gonna kind of wake up some of those things as well. But I just like the Chiefs. I like the Chiefs in week 2. Cincinnati will get there. Devin has the Chiefs in the over as well.
I've been with Devin a lot.
Yeah. Earlier Sean mentioned the most Browns thing to do being Baker Mayfield revitalizing another franchise that's not them. I think the most Cincinnati Bengals thing to do is to go 0-2 and then make a playoff run.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Burn is reluctantly nodding his head. He's like, okay, yeah.
I think Burn would be okay with that.
I'm going to tell you, I'll tell you this right now. Kansas City wants to win the regular season game. That's fine.
Yeah.
I'll leave it at that.
There you go.
Where I say duh and we move on.
All right. Next one. We go Sunday night, 8:20 Eastern time on NBC. It is the 1-0 Chicago Bears at the 1-0 Houston Texans. 6.5-point home favorites. in H-Town. 46 is your over-under. Mikey.
For some reason, Ernest is still drinking the Caleb Williams Kool-Aid. He took the Bears in the under.
The Bears.
Matt took the Texans and the under. Cool. The Bears defense and special teams played pretty good week 1 against the Mayonnaise Messiah. Who cares?
But he beat out Malik Willis.
He also beat out Ryan Tannehill.
Yeah.
No, injuries beat Ryan Tannehill.
That is a disgusting act.
I feel like Ryan Tannehill should
Yeah,
have
that
a
was
job
pretty
somewhere in the
cold-blooded,
NFL, but
Yeah, he's working concessions.
That's so goddamn rude.
not wrong. I think he'd be better than Daniel Jones, but I digress.
Well, the bar's the floor on that one.
Yeah, nobody's picked that bar up.
They can't. It's too heavy.
Well, Daniel Jones did, but then somebody just grabbed it from him. So.
Yeah, it's not hard to do.
That being said, I'm taking the Texans because I think their wide receiver group is better than anything Tennessee threw out there on Sunday afternoon. I think their quarterback is better than Will Levis has any dream of being. I think this is a wake-up call for Caleb Williams. Welcome to the NFL when you're playing a pretty good defensive line. Give me the Texans, and I will take the over.
All right, student of the game, Kyle Nash.
I enjoy a certain irony that the Mayonnaise Messiah got the welcome to the NFL moment in the Bears game. No, listen, I want to pick the Bears whenever I can, just so Jim reaches for the soundboard and I get a quality George Wendt soundbite. Unfortunately, 6 points is all you're giving them? That's what we're doing. Yeah, give me the Texans. Give me the shoot. That number is good though. I'll grant that. I'm only saying the under because I believe the Bears to be that incompetent on offense currently. Eberflus was never the answer at coach for this campaign, in my opinion. So yeah, I got Texans and the under. But if Jim wants to give me the courtesy of playing top Bears anyway, I would appreciate it.
Well, Devin has. Oh, come on. See, this is me.
Bears.
There we go. Devin picked
and
the Bears.
offensively, that's probably what's going to happen for the Bears this Sunday. You're going to have to wait. Come on, Caleb.
I mean, they don't have an offensive touchdown yet.
They don't.
He
didn't look good.
It's still lagging from week one. That's a great point.
Who does
Come
it?
on, Wentz. There it is.
I mean, I love that we talked the fascinating stats of starting quarterbacks being rookies being 0-14-1. Can we put an asterisk next to the 1 because the Bears defense special teams really won that game? Not Caleb Williams.
He played awful. I mean, he played like that stat talked about. You know, like, I mean, everything that stat alluded to happened to Caleb Williams. Overthrows, underthrows, sidearm throw. Like, it was the classic, just, you've always been just better and faster than everyone else.
Look, he played like Caleb Williams normally plays.
He did, except
in the
now
Midwest.
you're not faster than everyone else. You're not bigger than everyone else. And there's always a defender there. So it's just one of those things. But both of these teams were I think we're very fortunate to come out of their week 1 ahead for 2 very different reasons. Texans, obviously, very talented team, came out sputtering against a very good Colts team, who I believe both nieces have in the playoffs. But they found a way to win, whereas the Bears just played a team that couldn't find one. So I think because of that, I think to be on the EJ train, it'd be just an awful play here. Give me the Texans. And what's my over-under mark? I know it was good.
46.
Yeah. That's a number. Man.
I think I hate to say it right now because of the way he's been giving me attitude all day. But I think I like Kyle Nash's take on that. I think I'm going to take the under with him.
Well, let me match it with this, sir. I will say it on record. The Colts are a situation where I would be more than happy to be wrong because I didn't pick them on the strength.
I'd like you to be wrong.
Yeah, well, and I know this, sir. But I think the issue is I don't trust AR's health yet. I don't trust Anthony Richardson's health.
Good. Yeah, I'm not with Devin. I just picked that up there. I've left Devin in the dust now. All right. Bye, Devin.
Yeah, look, I think the Bears, I think I think that team from Chicago has the potential to move the franchise in the right direction against this Houston Texans team in week 2 on Sunday night. Probably not going to be the time it gets done. Give me Houston to cover the 6.5 and win, obviously outright. I'll take the under because the manner in which the Bears scored on this past Sunday, I don't think you're going to be able to do enough times to get the total score over. So
I would like to state that I'm the only kamikaze that took the over.
Yes, that is a decision that you made.
That was a heck of an effort.
Yeah, I don't like the Bears to find many points this weekend. And then last one for the week, we have the 0-1 Atlanta Falcons at the 1-0 Philadelphia Eagles, back from Brazil, all in one piece, unlike the Packers. But the Eagles are a 6.5 point home favorites on Monday night in prime time. Take that what you will for at least one player on the Atlanta Falcons. 48 is your over under. This one, 8:15 Eastern time next Monday on ESPN. Mikey B.
Matt and Ernest both have the Eagles in the over. I will take the Eagles to win. Yeah, they both are Eagles fans. You're right.
Correct.
Accurate.
You're right. I'm going to take the Eagles, but I'm going to take
Eagles fan.
Big Eagles fan.
The E and EJ stands for Eagles.
That makes sense.
Huge.
I will take the Eagles to be victorious and get to 2-0, but there's no way I'm taking the over in this game. The Falcons looked like hot doo-doo against Pittsburgh. And he's on prime time, and I'm a Kirk Coupins supporter.
Is hot doo-doo better or worse than hot garbage?
Better.
Okay, so hot garbage worse than hot doo. Okay.
Correct.
I just wanted to know where they fall. Okay.
Because garbage is a higher volume.
Correct.
Oh, okay.
At least you hope so.
God, I hope so.
Oof, I hope so.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Oh, God, no.
Okay.
Student of the game, Kyle Nash.
Listen, the answer is obviously the Eagles, without question. And I don't even care if you're staying in Hotel California or what. Listen, the punchline.
There it is.
All right. Hey, by the way, with all this and a bad Notre Dame loss, not once have I mentioned a certain period of time or a certain team. So I don't want to hear it.
So goddamn rude.
I didn't though. I could have said triple up. Oh shoot. Anyways, but
fuck you, Cap.
Bam!
I knew it was coming.
Mike already rung it up.
No, but yeah, it's definitely the Eagles. And listen, for all the shots taken by Eagles fans in my house during the simulcast, or not the simulcast rather, but the fill-in while you guys were on for the NFC East preview, I still pick the Eagles here without question, simply because the offensive line hasn't been addressed for the Falcons, and that's what we saw in an immobile Kirk Cousins. And you're in trouble when they have to release a statement. The injury had nothing to do with it. I mean, come on, guys.
Yeah, that's a problem. That's a problem.
Great, Bob.
I don't know enough about the Eagles defense yet, but I will show faith in them and pick the under here. So Eagles in the under.
All right, Sean.
I think the Falcons, it's not going to be as big of awakening as Cincinnati, but I think it's a similar boat. I think for Kirk Cousins, for that coaching staff, it's like a new pair of shoes. You've got them on. They're not the most comfortable, but they look nice. They're going to start to break in here, not to the full extent, but you're going to see them cruise a little bit more. So, of course, I like my Birds. I don't think they're going to break it in that well. I like the Eagles here, no doubt. And I'm going to have to go with old Eagles Jaworski Christian. And I'm going to take the over with the Eagles. Not sure anybody knew that. I don't know if anybody knew that's what it stood
I didn't.
For. Eagles Jaworski.
I didn't catch that. I always thought it was Jameis for his FSU.
Yeah, Eagles.
that was my second guess, actually.
Eagles Jameis. Not bad.
That's there we go.
He would have
Kevin
famously combusted if Jameis Winston ever played for the
It's so
Eagles.
nice that he's not here to just. Although it would be nice to have him whine about it.
I mean, you could have just stopped at it's nice to not have him here.
It's nice. It's real nice. It's roomy in here. Like I feel like I can just stretch out.
It
Go
is.
Rude.
EJ.
Joe Buck yourself.
Devin has the Eagles and the over. Yeah, I'd love to take the Falcons to win. Hell, I'd love to take them to even cover 6.5, but I don't see it. I don't see it.
Yeah.
Right now, I think
you have to fill out the police report, the fraud. It would just
it's not good. I think once they get into their terrible NFC South schedule, they'll start to find themselves a little bit more. Even with jet lag and whatever could be impacting the Eagles, I think they can still win by a touchdown, or maybe a little bit more. I'm still gonna go. I'm gonna go slight under. I think that number is a good spot. I think it has a chance to go above a little bit, but it's not going to be enough to
I think
make
that's
me
the goal
absolutely
of
pick
setting the over-under, Jim.
Well, yeah, obviously.
They want you to think it could go.
Hold on, Sean.
They want you to debate that.
Are you trying to tell me that sports books want to make money? What's next?
That's what I hear.
This week's over-unders are a lot better than last week's. The numbers are
Eagles
a lot
Jaworski.
Promotional tool, Eagles Jaworski. That's right.
This week's pick sponsored by Eagles Jaworski.
I'm gonna make him a ghost Twitter account that says Eagles Jaworski on it.
I feel like that could be the next shirt. Eagles Jaworski.
Eagles Jaworski.
Eagles Jaworski Christian.
Nice.
Although I don't know if I should make another shirt for him, considering he still never bought his own
merch
first shirt that's on there. So
yes,
maybe I won't do that because he doesn't deserve it.
It's not a very good promotional tool if he doesn't do that.
Promotional consideration paid for by
no one.
By no one.
By
Eagles Jaworski Christian.
Eagles Jaworski.
All right. And last thing that we are going to do on this show, as we do each and every week, if it wants to play.
You better lock it up. You better lock it up. No, you lock it up. You lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up.
We're going to look at one thing that will happen this weekend. Student of the game, Kyle Nash, we'll start with you. What's your lock of the week?
My lock of the week, there's two different ways I'm thinking of going, but I will do this so I can get the bing here. I will say that my lock is the Jacksonville Jaguars win their home opener at Everbank Stadium hosting the Browns, and I will probably parrot this on the Duval Dive podcast tomorrow night, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. You could, of course, still jump on and see what Travis D. Holmes of Big Cat Country says.
Very good. Let's hit it.
Oh, by the way, I'll probably say the same thing as well on the Eaglesley Speaking podcast on the Student of the Game Report. Got him.
That's good.
Eaglesley Speaking.
That's real good. That's real good. Mikey B, what's going to happen this weekend?
I want to take the low-hanging fruit and say that Coastal Carolina gets to 3-0, but I won't.
Homer.
I also want to potentially say that Utah's on upset alert if Cam Rising doesn't play in that game.
Did you say Utes?
But I'm not going to do that either. I'm gonna go back to a fun topic that was brought up of someone not believing in Ole Miss. Ole Miss boat races, Wake Forest. Absolutely boat race.
Give me a number, Mikey Byrne.
They cover at least a 24.5. And I think they hang at least 60.
Okay, there's enough.
Love
boat
that.
race.
Lock it up.
Damn. Devin going full homer. I'd say a little bit lazy, but I'll give it to him. He says his lock will be the
Homer,
the Dolphins.
If it weren't a short week, I would agree with you, but I'll let him have that one.
There we go. We'll give it to him. It's early. It's early in the year. I would definitely make EJ not be so lazy, but we'll give it to Devin. We'll give it to Devin. Sean, what's going to happen this weekend?
Man, there's like so many I got really ripped for not taking a hot take last week, although my pick did hit, so
it did.
Screw you guys.
Yeah. Well,
I should have just gotten gutsy and be like, fine, then he gets a third one too. Then I'd have been real good. Man, there's so many takes. I was gonna go Baker Mayfield puts up better numbers than Deshaun Watson, but that's like the coldest take there ever was. So I'm just going to go raw hot take. I'm going to say that Tyreek Hill against the Bills puts up more receiving yards than all of the Giants wide receivers combined.
Ooh, wow. I like that. Kyle, can you go earmuffs for me? I'm afraid of catching heat on mine. The Brian Kelly hot seat will get a little warmer this week when the South Carolina Gamecocks upset number 16 LSU.
Well, I like that.
Why would I be hurt by that? I'm very confused.
Lock it up.
Well, because usually you just call me a hater.
Well, you are, but you're still part of my family, so I don't.
We got to get this game trending on social media so we can make it an official big game, and then it's over. We can make it trend as a big game.
I didn't know that the USC game was a big one.
Let the record show there, Jim. I did not pound on the table when you said that, okay?
Okay, I know. I wasn't sure. I just sometimes I catch the heat.
Hey, when it comes to that take, I need to be released and let be a free man. That's all I'm saying.
Well played, jackass. And that is where we wrap up for the week. Mikey B, I'll start with you. Let the people know where they can follow you.
You can follow me on Twitter at They Call Me Burn. You can listen to me talk professional wrestling on the Take 3 Wrestling podcast. No show last week. We took a sabbatical week because All Out was on, and I didn't really care about it. And I really don't care about it after. So
right.
More on that on Thursday.
That's right.
Watch the Tulane Oklahoma game, 3:30 on ESPN. That's all I got.
All right, Sean, where they can keep up with you.
Well, if those of you that were watching earlier are still there, you can catch me in the classroom tomorrow, or you can follow me on Twitter at Sean Shine State. I did make a sports-related post this week, so we're well on our way to improving the numbers up there. Expect me to tweet something about a Eagles Jaworski this week. I feel like that's coming, but that's where you can find me from Florida. Go Birds!
Very good. Student of the game, Kyle Nash.
Who knew that our normal panelist's Twitter handle was in reference to the excitement he feels whenever the Eagles score a touchdown? Anyways, see, because it's EJ Christian 7, everybody. That's the joke. Anyways, that's the joke. Listen, honor, joy, and privilege.
Joke.
Thank you, Jim. An honor, joy, and privilege to be aboard here. Great times all the way around. Of course, I am Kyle Nash, the student of the game. You can find me on Twitter, Threads, and Instagram at the SOTG. Check out my writings with the Fans First Sports Network. I actually am going to be tinkering away at an article now about people that are trying to make this about Trevor Lawrence's contract extension, about the Miami loss. It doesn't make any sense. I'll explain to you the stupid what they're actually trying to say when they actually say it. Also, I'll have keys to the game sometime here this week, very shortly, probably dropping on Thursday for the Jags to make true my lock of the week here to beat the Browns at Everbank Stadium for the home opener, plus my work with the Black and Gold Banneret. Well, I'm not writing the TCU UCF game, which that's the game you should watch, by the way, 7:30 Saturday night. I will be hosting the Night Shift podcast live for the reaction with Jake Ferrero, who will be on site for the Black and Gold Banneret and writing that article, plus Duval Dive live reaction, of course, on Sunday, right after the game. Hopefully Travis Holmes does not have technical issues again, so we could actually start right after the game. And of course, my written reaction to the game in itself, in what we would have learned from it, from the good, the bad, and the spotty. My official focus piece weekly coming for the Jacksonville Jaguars on Fans First Sports Network. And finally, of course, look out for tomorrow night is the recording of the Student of the Game podcast at 9 p.m. And of course, the Duval Dive weekly episode, 7:30 p.m. I do a lot of stuff. I didn't even talk about my appearance on the damn Mark Moses show in Melbourne on 1640 The Fan. Anyways, honor, joy, and privilege, guys. Until next time, everyone, class dismissed.
All right, you can get me at Big Jim Sports, but make sure you are just following along with the show. We are on Twitch at Huddle Up Inc. That's where we one of our streaming homes. Here every week on the live show. We also have our Instagram channel at Huddle Up Podcast Inc. We are at Huddle Up Podcast everywhere else, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube. So make sure you are following us and subscribed in all of those places. Thank you, everyone, for listening in this week, interacting with us here on the live show. Give us your thoughts throughout the week on social media as well. If you do catch us after the fact, we certainly would appreciate that as well. Get your merchandise over at tpublic.com. Everything Huddle Up related can be found in the link tree on our social medias. So make sure you go to those places, like and subscribe, share the show with your friends, get them in here and interacting with us, grow the show throughout the football season and throughout the year. Until next week, when we are live again on Wednesday next week. Again, a little bit of a schedule mix up there for the next week's show, but then we'll be back for the duration of the year on Tuesday nights the following week and beyond. So just again, subscribe to the social media channels and everywhere, and that's going to be your easiest way to make sure you do not miss out. Until next time, stay safe, stay smart, and as always, go for the win.